Hey there, thanks for tuning in for the top 7 rock cuts of the week. We've got some really cool ones to check out, which you can see here. Thank you to all the current subscribers to the channel, and if you're not currently subscribed, please consider subscribing to see more videos like this one. All the rocks were found in northern Nevada. The ID is my best guess, so not definitive. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the rocks. So let's check out this one first. So from the outside here, we can see there's some cool colors going on, some green and some purple and some yellow. There was a little crystal pocket cave that we just passed. Look at this side here. This face is mostly that purple kind of material with a little bit of that green that we can see as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the inside here, and that is really cool. The purple reddish material does carry through, and it looks like on top of it there's a thick layer of breccia, and the pieces that are making it up are really cool. So we can see they have banding on them and a lot of variety of colors, from green and white on the right-hand side to pinks. There's maybe even a little bit of some light blues in there. And then in the upper left, it's kind of a yellowy red material. We'll take a little bit of a closer look and see if we can see some of those smaller rocks and their patterns a little more closely. I've not seen one quite like this. I show quite a few on the channel that are composed like this, but the rocks that are making this one up are quite unique. Let's take a look at the other side here. Again, we can see there's some nice pattern actually and variation in the purple red material with the yellow kind of coming into it with some almost veins there. And we'll zoom in a little bit here. This side was a little bit rougher. The cut wasn't as good, but a really unique and pretty piece. Okay, let's check out this rock. So from the outside, we've got that classic deep red color, and then we've got some of that lighter material as well on that part of the rock. Here on this end, we can see there's some orange kind of breaking through to some yellows to almost some light pinks on this side. There's some deep cracks on that part of the rock, and then here we see the other side, which looks pretty similar. Let's go ahead and take a look at the inside, and that is much cooler than I thought it was going to be. Wow. Okay, so we've got a really chaotic pattern that's going on here, but it's really pretty. We've got some Wonderstone colors and patterns going on, as well as some Lahontan Jasper looking patterns. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at the individual halves. Really, really pretty. We can see the colors. There's quite a bit of variation from the very deep reds into pinks, and then the oranges as well as whites. And the pattern is kind of interesting too. The top part of the rock there looks like it has almost a crust, as well as the bottom that's slightly different material than the rest of the rock. And then there's some infill of the veins that's happened as well, but really, really pretty. I love the patterns and the way that it's turned out. This is definitely unique. Haven't seen one like this. Okay, let's check out this rock. So from the outside, we have some interesting color that's showing through here too. It looks like there's maybe some green in some of the veins, and then we have some browns and some yellows, and then there's some nice red and yellow color there. And then here we can see the underside of that rock and see that there's some small stones that are embedded in that white material there. So let's take a look at the inside, and that is really pretty. So the yellowish brown color continues through most of the rock, and then we have some black in there as well. And within the black, it's kind of hard to see, but there's actually green. It has kind of a green sheen to it. And we'll take a closer look at the individual halves, and you can see it a little bit better there in the middle of that kind of white vein, but it goes through the dark material as well. We'll zoom in here. There's also a cool little red intrusion on the top right there. You can kind of see some of that coming through, and those little dark pockets along the white vein are actually green too. Okay, this one I put a lot of light on it, more than I normally would, but just so that the green would show up a little bit more, and I think you get a little bit better of an idea there. But it's really cool. It's almost... Okay, let's check out this rock. So from the outside, we can see a pretty heavy desert patina, almost black there on that side we were just looking at, and then darker reds and browns on this part. We can see there's some banding going on and some yellows and reds on the top there, so that looked kind of interesting. And then we'll take a quick look at the other side of the rock. You can see more of that desert patina on it. And then here we see some nice color and pattern, some pink, some white, a little bit of yellow there as well, and then kind of a gray looking interior. So let's take a look. And that is really cool. So this is a really nice quality material, and that gray continues in, but then gives way to some really nice reds and oranges, and then a nice rainbow band around the perimeter of the rock as well. Let's take a closer look at the individual halves. I really like the strong banding around the perimeter, and then you can see a little bit better here how the gray kind of gives way to the red with some splotches kind of going through. And then there's a little bit of pattern going on this right side. It started to dry off a little bit there. Let's take a look at this side. So same nice banding around the perimeter, a little bit different in terms of how the red trails off into the yellow here. And you can see a bit more of that pattern on the right hand side here, but really cool. Okay, let's check out this rock. So from the outside, we can see some more of that heavy desert patina, those dark colors, but also some nice light colors showing through. So here we can see some white and some tans, and even some, looks like some pinks here, and then it looks like there's some nice pattern as well showing through, some lines or some veins. Let's go ahead and take a look at the inside here, and that is really nice. This is a Lahontan Jasper, and we've got some interesting colors going on here, from almost very light blue towards the upper middle part of the rock down to some red banding and some yellow as well. And then we have the nice dark red color that's very characteristic of the area that's filled in the veins here. Really, really pretty. Let's take a little bit closer look at the individual halves. Yeah, the rock has almost some light Wonderstone colors with the pink and the red and the yellow banding. Very, very pretty. And then you can see a little bit of that kind of light bluish color there. This side we have a little bit more going on in terms of the veins. I really like how the reds come in there, and then the rock it's filling is actually really interesting too, with that little bit of blue. Zoom in here a little, but this is a really pretty one. Definitely like it. Okay, let's check out this rock. So this is a smaller piece from a larger chunk, and not all of this rock is, well, I didn't think all of it was necessarily going to be of a good quality, but it looked interesting with the green color, and then I wasn't sure if these veins were crystal, but they looked like they were filled in with something white, so that looked kind of interesting. And then of course there's some red, so the green-red color combo is interesting. So let's take a look at the inside here, and that is pretty cool. So that green really limited to the outside of the rock pretty much. The inside is more brown, and then it goes to kind of a slightly grainier look in the middle, and then back to nice brown material towards the bottom again. The veins look like, I don't think that's crystal, I think it's actually common opal that they're filled in with here. And the pattern that's going through is really interesting. And there's actually a little crystal cave there. It's got some yellow-orange staining on it, but we can probably clean that off. Really pretty. Okay, let's check out this rock. So from the outside, you can see we've got a lighter colored, maybe crystal or agate material. It looks almost burnt on this side with the kind of orange to brown desert patina. We can see a little bit more of that clear looking crystal material, and then some of what looks like maybe banding on this side. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this looks like on the inside. And that is really cool. The lighter colored crystal material we can see does carry through on the top and the bottom, with the white on the top and then almost blue down towards the bottom. And then the rest of the rock is kind of chaotic banded agate material from the looks of it. It looks almost like what I would call a Jupiter rock from the way the bands look, but really pretty. You can see there's also a big fracture towards the bottom half of the rock. Let's take a little bit of a closer look here. You can see some of that banding a little bit better, and some of those little pockets also have some crystals in them. This maybe is one to look at under the microscope, but a really cool one. Definitely unique. Thanks so much for checking out this week's Top 7 Rock Cuts. Please make sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you again to all the current subscribers, and if you're not subscribed, please give that button a click, and I will see you next time.